So I thought I'd talk Android and getting started with Android from, well, people that have come from iOS or people that are just new maybe to Android as a whole and want to know how to get started. What I'll do is I'll actually run through the home screen and how you manage things like that. And then what we'll do is I'll run down my top five apps, five apps if I can actually count, to be using as a beginner to Android, and then that'll be that. So this is the Android home screen. I know it's very, very basic, but I figure I may as well go through it anyway for people that don't actually know how Android works and how you get used to it. If you use iOS, it's reasonably similar to that, to be fair, in terms of managing icons and things like that. I'm actually going to use the stylus just because it's easier, then I can get my my fingers out of the way and it's a lot easier for you to do. So, no matter which OEM you're with, whether or not it's HTC or Samsung or something like that, you're going to have a home screen that looks something similar to this. I'm actually using the stock Android one. This is actually Nova settings. Nova that actually runs on top of Android, which actually does some really funky things. Nova's really cool. I'll put a link in the description below anyway. But basically, with the Android home screen, you can customize widgets and you can customize the icons you have on your home screen. And you do that by pressing and holding, and then you get all the options that come up, things like widgets, wallpapers, etc. Now, if you're running Jelly Bean or the new one, which I'm now trying to think, ice cream sandwich or Jelly Bean, you should get your widgets within the menu as well. So go over to widgets and then say we want an analog clock, press and hold, and goes over to there and it pops it straight down. That's fine, and then we've got a clock on our home screen. Same with if we want to manage apps for whatever reason, we can press and hold them, and then we can get rid of them as well by just dragging them to the cross. It's reasonably easy to get your head around, and it's a piece of cake. Same with menu. So if you press the menu button, you get up things like system settings, Nova settings, and all the other bits and pieces. I'm actually running a custom ROM, which is why you get things like pack in black, etc., etc. And that's pretty much all you need to worry about. The only other thing is to closing apps. If you're really worried about apps hogging your memory, press and hold the home button, and then it brings up all your apps. And then to get rid of them, you just swipe either left or right, and it just gets rid of them like that for you. So that is pretty much Android, the Android experience and the Android home screen. So let's run down the top 5 apps that you should be using as an Android beginner and that I recommend. Fantastic. Well, this just makes the Android experience much better. First one is the keyboard. Now you may have noticed if you use the keyboard that the OEM one you've been given either the stock Android one or the one that Samsung ships, the one that Sony ships, or the one that HTC ships are generally pretty shit. That's one of the things that lets Android down. The keyboard is crap. But one thing that will save your day or save your bacon is SwiftKey. SwiftKey is amazing. It's the dog's testes of keyboards on Android, and actually makes the iOS keyboard look like a piece of shit. And SwiftKey is just insanely good. It gives you 3 suggestions. It does things like foreign characters and all sorts of weird, wonderful things, which is just brilliant. You can check it out in the description below. I'll put in the description below the links to all the apps I feature in this video. And yeah, SwiftKey is just amazingly good. The second all is moving on to security. Now, security within Android is pretty tight anyway. A lot of people say that, oh, Android is open source and therefore it can get hacked. Yes, it is open source, but not as open as it used to be. And yes, it can get hacked, but so can iOS, so can Windows Phone. So pretty much you don't generally get hacked. The things that happen are fake apps you install are not quite what they say they are, or perhaps you go onto a website and you maybe inadvertently download an APK file and then install it. But by default, you can't install third-party APKs. It has to all go through the Play Store. Google pretty much encrypts most things. Anyway, I know there's been a bit of a leak of their cryptographic keys. But that's neither here nor there. One way of protecting your arse is by using a program called Lookout. Lookout is like an antivirus security package all in one. It does things like finding, if you've lost your phone, it'll do that. It'll do things like wipe your phone if it's been lost or stolen. It'll take a picture of somebody that's tried to unlock your phone and failed. Loads of really, really funky things, which is brilliant. It's worth checking out. It's free as well. There's some paid versions. There's like a paid version you have to pay £6 a month or whatever it is. I don't think it's really necessarily worth paying for. They do charge quite a bit for what it is. But definitely go and check that out. Lookout is definitely amazing. There's a few other ones on the market like AVG and Norton and McAfee, but they're generally pretty shit. Lookout is pretty much the standard one, and they only deal with mobile, so they don't deal with any desktop shit either. So the third app that I recommend you download and get is Google Chrome. Google Chrome for Android is very, very good. There is Firefox and there is Opera, but they're generally pretty rubbish. The stock browser you get within Android is pretty rubbish, and the stock browser you get with HTC or Samsung is pretty rubbish. So just go with Chrome. It does allow you to sign in if you really want to, so you can sync across all your devices that use Chrome. It allows you to sign in and sync across bookmarks and things like if you've opened a page within Chrome on your desktop, you can then open it on your mobile device as well, which is pretty cool. And it's definitely worth checking out. Of course, you can check out Firefox's browser as well. That's not bad, but for me, I don't like it at all. Fourth is Twitter. Now, by default, in terms of social, just use the default apps, so Facebook, Instagram, Vine, that sort of stuff, Foursquare, LinkedIn, because to be honest, they're pretty much the best of the best, and you can't really get much third-party instances of it. Twitter, however, is a little bit different. The standard Twitter app is pretty shit. I mean, for beginners, it's okay, but for a little bit more advanced, I wouldn't recommend it. App I recommend is Plume. Plume is very, very good. Falcon Pro was much better than Plume, but Falcon Pro has kind of gone down, and you have to kind of already have a Twitter token for it. So, but Plume is definitely the way forwards. You get theme customization, so colors and all that other funky stuff. You've got custom third-party image hosting and URL shortening as well, which is really cool. And yeah, it's just generally much better. There's lots of really funky customization for it. There's a paid version, there's a free version. I would definitely go out and pay for it. It's like £1 whatever. I think it gets rid of some ads and it allows multiple account support, which is really cool. And yeah, definitely go out and buy it. So the fifth app I recommend you download and install is Astro. It's a file handling app and it allows you to manage all your files on like maybe an external SD card, the internal memory as well, and a lot of other bits and pieces. It's really great. One of the great things with Android is you've got a proper file system, so you can actually put documents in and videos in, and you can actually manage it like a proper folder structure like you have in Windows, which is brilliant. Astro is really good because it integrates Google Drive, Dropbox, Facebook, Box.com, SkyDrive, and I think that's it. But it's really good for that. And that's pretty much it. The only thing to say is photo syncing. A lot of people will say when they move to Android, well, how the hell do I get my photos back? Because with iOS I get iCloud. With Android you get it by default via Google+. Google+ does an automatic backup of your photos. So if you use Google+, if you have a Google account, you pretty much have Google+. You have to have a Google account to use Android, so therefore you may as well use Google+. Not necessarily for the fact that it does like social network stuff, but it does backups of your photos. It gives you 7 gig to have like raw photos that haven't been compressed. Then it gives you unlimited unlimited storage for compressed photos, which actually aren't that compressed really. So it will save all your photos to Google+, which is really great. You can then do what the hell you want with them. It'll then, all you need to do is basically just go to Google's thing, and it'll where your sign-in thing is, there's like a notification. It'll just tell you there's some photos waiting for you to do something with. So that's one thing. Or you could use Dropbox. Dropbox automatically uploads if you want it to. When you actually configure Dropbox, it'll tell you, do you want to automatically upload to the cloud or to the folder, and you can say yes or no. Obviously, if you sign up to Dropbox first, you only get 2 gigs, so unless you're like somebody that's got loads of friends that you're going to refer Dropbox to, you're probably not. It's going to be a little bit of a struggle to use 2 gigs and then store tons of photos, because they'll probably be about 2 meg each, especially if you've got like a reasonably good phone with a good camera, probably about 2 or 3 meg each, so that's not going to give you that much space to store that many photos. I think that's pretty much it in terms of apps and getting started with Android. Of course, you can hit me up on Twitter at AzzyChill. Ask me any questions you want if you've got any other apps or any other questions about apps that I recommend you use. Obviously, you can also ping me an email as well, azzychill@gmail.com. I think that's it. Apart from that, I shall catch you in a later video.